lights on the screen, hey, it's Grant and Ryan. We bleed purple, talking hoops, never lying. Sacramento Kings, we rise and we fall. If you don't like that, then you don't know ball. Jerry sitting with the stories of the game, spilling all the truth, driving legends insane. From the Cow Palace days to Arco's roar, this town's heart beats on the hardwood floor. If you don't like that, turn away now. Kings in our blood, we rise strong and proud. Running up to score, Kings never back down. If you don't like that, this ain't your town.
Folks, 130 to 129, the Nuggets win. Here's the bottom line. You're on your home court. Yeah, you're a little shorthanded. No Murray, no Herter. But you're up 119 to 109 with 3 minutes and 55 seconds left on your home floor. You got a 10-point lead under 4 minutes left. You've got to figure out a way to win that game.
Yeah, I think
you got to figure out a way to win that game.
The thing that hurts the most for me in that situation is they didn't get bad looks. They didn't do anything to turn the ball over, screw it up. They just missed shots. That's all they did. Missed shots, Grant.
Yep, I know. But again, you've got to figure out a way to close that out, Ryan, when you're up 10 on your home floor with under 4 minutes left. I know Denver's a good team. They're healthy. This was, first of all, a hell of a game, was it not?
Yeah, incredible game. Incredible. They had Denver gassed.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people are criticizing DeMar DeRozan. I mean, is that fair?
No. I don't know what the criticism will be about. He missed a shot. He mishandled a pass at the end of the game in the lane. If that's what we're judging, a perennial all-star and a guy that put up 17 tonight with, then I've got a problem with that.
Only 11 turnovers for Sacramento. That was not an issue. But how about, Denver? They had 38 assists in this game. 38 assists, and they outscored Sacramento. Here's the other deal. You're on your home floor, and you got outscored by 8 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Grant, look at the paint, too. 76 to 58. On a normal night, I'm ripping the Kings. They had 10 blocks and 10 steals. They were scrambling. It just wasn't enough. I mean, 10 points. Look at how quickly that goes, Napes, in this NBA.
And now 2 games under 500 on your home floor, Ryan. And you got the Lakers coming in for 2 games, and they're healthy. And you got to hope that the Kings are going to be healthy for the game coming up against the Lakers. But this is a tough loss because you were down 23 and you fought your way back in the second quarter with a monstrous 47-point quarter.
Yeah.
Things came, I mean, you got to applaud the way the Kings came out of the locker room in the second half, Ryan. They were just playing tremendously. They outscored Denver 35-21 in that fourth. But that in the third, I beg your pardon, 35-21 in the third quarter. But Ryno, the Nuggets outscored the Kings 34-26 in the final quarter.
Yeah, they've been there before, many more times than the Kings. The 2-man game between Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, incredible. And to a point, you have to credit the third quarter with the way that was played with Colby Jones and Keon Ellis. They played incredible defense tonight, and Jamal got a couple of openings with Foxy and Monk on him, and the rest is history. I mean, it's a brutal loss. This would have been.
It is brutal. I think Keon, to me, was as good as any player on the floor tonight. I know he didn't shoot the ball well, but I mean, when I look at his game tonight, I mean, wow. All right, let AB. Thank you very much for your super chat donation. Mike Brown should have called the timeout around the 3-minute mark when we had 4 timeouts. That's off the screen, but you agree with that or no? Here we go.
I would.
4 timeouts and Denver was making a run. I'm so mad.
Yeah, I could see where that criticism's at. The Kings missed a couple shots. They went missed two, turnover. Minute 15 left. That's when Denver got into their run, and then Foxy hits a couple of shots to bring them back. So yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, Grant, do you have an issue with that?
We criticize Mike Brown when he takes his timeouts. We criticize him when he doesn't. But we always, what do we say? You got to have a timeout in your back pocket for the final possession. And he did tonight.
He did.
So if he uses that timeout there, maybe you don't get a chance to set up your offense with 8 seconds left on a final shot.
Yeah.
After Denver had scored to make a 130 to 129. And we would have been criticizing Mike Brown if the Kings didn't have a timeout, took the ball out of bounds, didn't get a good shot, and lost the game, right? So I understand what they're saying. It's a tough situation there because you want to make sure you have a timeout for the end of the game. But yes, he did have a couple in his pocket at that point. You're right.
Yeah. So we're going over what's heartbreaking about this and why they should have had it. If the Kings would have won this game, how would you have categorized the win?
Great win, maybe better than the Houston win because you didn't have your best interior defender in Keegan Murray or your best defender, and you didn't have Kevin Huerter, who's been playing well coming off the bench against a healthy Denver team. I would have put it, especially being down 23 in the first, I would have put it as the best win of the year at home.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I'm completely with you. When Mike Brown talks about the guys doing the little things, getting the 50-50 balls, I didn't track the tips, but I would venture to say the Kings probably came up with 75% of those balls tonight. So they left it all out on the court. Execution at the end, just the end. And maybe, Grant, that goes back to minutes. Sabonis 41 tonight, 39 for Fox. You know, we could talk about Fox. Did you feel like he was a little quiet tonight, Grant?
Yes, I did think he was a little quiet. I'm going to get to that in a minute. I want to update the standings.
Yeah.
The Kings are 12th. All right. They're now behind San Antonio. The Kings are 12th at 13 and 14. 13 and 14. So, and you got the Lakers coming in who are 14 and 12 for a pair of games. Ask that question again, please, Fox, you're talking about?
Yeah. Do you think Fox could have done more tonight?
Yes, I do. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yep.
I'm completely with you. Felt like there was some opportunities missed. We want to hear from you. We want to get as many chats as we can up on the screen. Super chats get priority because they're a different color, but you can call using the QR code there. I'll put the link one more time in the chat. Let's kick the phones off tonight with Jay. Jay, welcome in tonight.
What's going on? How you guys doing after this?
How are you?
I'm good. I ended up calling to Ryno's show before the game, and I told him the same thing as you with the lineups and everything. I was very surprised to see Doug in the starting lineup. I think that adjustment needed to be addressed a lot sooner, obviously before the game started. And you saw that around the 7.5 minute mark in the first quarter with Jay Crowder, who came in to pick up Aaron Gordon. That was a tough sub. And you know it was tough because it was specifically for that matchup. Normally, when you have a sub halfway through the first quarter, you're bringing in 2 to 3 different guys.
He only played 5 minutes, Jay Crowder.
Yeah, but Jay, I'm not so sure that wouldn't have still happened with Jay Crowder on the floor.
I can tell you this, Ryno. I agree with you, but the difference between him scoring 14 in the first quarter and him maybe only scoring 8, that's a big difference momentum-wise for the Denver Nuggets coming into a game where they need momentum on the road. Also, if you started Jay Crowder, I probably would have went Isaac Jones if he dropped 8 after that for the sub for the athleticism factor. I mean, Aaron Gordon, I remember watching him in high school on Yay Area's finest, and this guy is an athletic freak, and you can see it on the floor. To this day, he's still very athletic. But
there are a lot of athletic freaks in the NBA.
There are, yeah, most definitely. I agree with that.
I mean, listen, I'm going to keep saying this over and over again. If you have to rely on Jay Crowder to win games, you're in trouble. That's just the reality. That's just the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
And at this point in his career, and Isaac Jones is a guy, okay? And there are times when I've been impressed with Jones, but we got to be careful not to put too much on his shoulders. He's not that guy yet. He's not ready for that.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I agree.
In my opinion.
No, I agree. Totally. Watching his game, you can tell. I saw him ball watching on one of the plays, and he got pulled out the game real quick for that. It was a very late closeout. But fast forward, so we come back from a 20-point deficit, 23 points. That's a great fight by the Kings. You know how I don't believe in moral victories to begin with, but I will acknowledge that I'm proud to see the Kings core fight, scrap it out. And I agree with the commenter. That was the main point of my call was when they cut the lead to 4 points within the last 3 minutes, there should have been a timeout to draw something up and put 2 points on the board again instead of letting a sequence go. Aaron Gordon hits a 3. There's still no timeout. They're down by 1, I believe, at this point. and we do a turnover. And a lot of this has to do with Ryno's point, the minutes. It's not because we're bad and we're just out there throwing lazy passes. I mean, these guys are playing 40 minutes, right, against a championship caliber team that is made for these moments right here. And you know that they're catching fire if they're going on a 14-3 run with no timeout. And your guys are tired and fatigued. You got to you got to put a stop to the fire. First of all, and second of all, you got to get your guys a rest. We had 2 timeouts at that moment with about 2 minutes left or a minute and a half. So we were fine with the last possession timeout thing that Grant pointed out earlier.
Yeah.
But I think that was a coaching mistake right there. And we're super harsh on when to call a timeout, when not to call a timeout. I really do think that we should have called a timeout there to answer that one guy's question. And then the Fox thing, I think Fox, obviously, we expected him to do a little bit more tonight, but I will say the Nuggets had a great defensive scheme set up around him. You could see Mike Malone over there telling them to congest the paint because obviously he's a phenomenal slasher to the paint and he can get to his spot wherever, whenever, however, whenever, right? So I do think him having a off game had to do with the defensive scheme as well against him. So thoughts on the timeout thing and then thoughts on the game plan from Denver's point of view.
So really quick, what you said about the timeout and what AB said with the super chat. Yeah, you guys are growing on me with that because the Kings went missed two turnover during that stretch when Denver had 3 buckets in a row. Would have been a proper time for a timeout. Absolutely. As for the game plan with Fox, here's what you're going to hear from Mike Brown after the game. We didn't spray the ball enough. The Kings put up 102 shots tonight. In fact, both teams put up 102. The Kings only shot 35 3-pointers. So good point, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, I would encourage you just to go because I started looking at the game as a fan. Normally, I try to look at it from, a tactical perspective. I guess you say I play a lot of chess. I've play a lot of basketball. I like to look at it from that point of view. But it was one of those games where I did get caught up into the excitement, seeing my team perform and fight to the very end. But I do encourage you to watch that last 5 minutes, Ryno, because I know you will. You'll go back over. You'll be like,
I watch every game over. Yeah.
Yep. You'll see that could have made a huge. I mean, you're playing a championship team. These guys were with the same core. They were bred for this moment. I think also side bonus right here rhymes with sub bonus because I was going to bring up sub bonus. I think Jokic met his equivalent match tonight. I think Jokic had a tough night shooting and also in the key. He had a phenomenal night passing and dishing the ball as he always does. But as far as scoring, he came off his last 3 games averaging 40 points a game. Tonight he finished with 13, 15.
Yeah, but his team scored 130.
20. Yeah.
20. Okay.
Yeah, well, his team scored 130. So think about that.
Yes, that's true. Very true. That is true.
It's not like they won 110 to 109. They scored 130 points.
And I think Jokic kind of showed us at the end if he wanted to score more. That was his first made 3-pointer, the one that puts Denver over the top. He could have. He focused on his teammates tonight.
Okay. I know I don't want to hold up the line, but player of the game from the Kings' perspective.
Grant?
Well, I mean, Sabonis to me was the best player, but if I had to give the game ball to a guy on a losing team, I would give it to Keon Ellis.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. But, I would split the game ball in half, literally. I would take a saw, just split it in half, give it to Keon and Colby Jones.
That's a good point. Colby was.
I forgot about Colby Jones. You know what? You're right. It's hard to not agree with that.
He was all over the place tonight. There was 2 times in the third quarter he should have had take fouls called.
Oh yes, I remember.
Refs missed that clearly. Too bad there's not a 24-minute report. But yeah, he played a hell of a game, and we talk about shutting Fox down. They did a great job of pinching off the perimeter for Denver and just making it chaotic. It was all over the place.
Yes. I player of the game, I would say Sabonis first. Keon's had the defensive player of the game multiple times. I would give it to Colby this time for sure. Colby was phenomenal when it came to being scrappy, a pest out there on the floor. He had many deflections, like you said, steals, and there should have been a couple fouls called. But to that point, I think we got away with a lot of fouls, and I think the refs did an excellent job letting the game be physical this time around for sure. So I'm not going to cry too much about that. I don't know if you guys feel different about the refs, but
no, I don't normally talk about the refs because most times they're not the reason why a team wins or loses. But I agree with you. I thought it was fine, and we appreciate your call as always,
yeah,
buddy.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, Jay.
So we got a chat message that last year the Kings, after 27, were 17 wins and 10 losses. They're now 13 and 14. But I also want to point out that seems like a big difference, and it is. But the difference of that is just 4 games. A game like tonight, right?
Yeah.
And choose 3 other games that the Kings have lost at the end that we have sat here and gone, whoa, that's the difference. If you had won 4 more of the games that you've lost, you'd be 17 and 10. There's such a fine line, Ryan, between being that team and this team. And a fine line is like scoring on your last possession tonight.
Sure.
Okay. There's such a fine line in this league. And yes, it works both ways. And I'm aware of that. But unfortunately, we're having too many conversations like this, as opposed to, wow, what a great win. Oh, what, you know what I mean? And that's the difference with the team right now.
Well, one, I think we learned how valuable Keegan Murray is to this team, even if he is not scoring.
Yes.
2, Grant, to your point and to the commoner's point, what did the playoff situation look like then? Because the Kings, as we sit right now, are only a couple of games, 2 games.
That's
out
correct.
Of the 6th seed. So I think part of that has to do with this Western Conference as well. It's just so
Here's
congested.
the problem with what you're saying, and I understand exactly where you're coming from. Right now, in the 6th seed, you have the Phoenix Suns at 14 and 11. Okay. The Kings are 13 and 14. So you're 3 back in the loss column. But here's the problem with that. You're not in 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th, or 11th. You're in 12th. So, it's not only catching Phoenix to get into the top 6, but it's the Lakers, right? It's the Clippers. It's the Warriors. It's the Timberwolves. It's the Spurs, who you are 1 and 2 against this year. There are so many teams that are in the exact same position as Sacramento, which is why I keep harping on this game tonight and the fact that they lost up 10 with 3:55 remaining. All right. And the Clippers, by the way, are going to win tonight. And the Clippers are ahead of Sacramento. They're going to go to 15 and 12. They're going to snap their 3-game losing streak, and they're going to go to 15 and 12. So it's just that there are so many teams ahead of you.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and that's why these 2 with the Lakers are so massive. It's to me, it's the fork in the road. And I guess I'd ask you this. Yeah, the execution down the stretch, they didn't convert. I'm not going to knock their execution because they got good looks. But look, you get 16 out of McDermott tonight. You basically max out your bench. I know they only scored 14 points to Denver's 29, but has Mike Brown maxed out what he can do with this roster?
I think he has. I think he has. By the way, did I say this? Did I say that? Did you hear me say anything about the standings won't change much? What are you talking about? I mean, what do you just make up stuff or what?
We're just saying it's congested.
Unbelievable. Thank you for the super chat, Andrew. Couple of costly turnovers down the stretch by Sabonis, and perimeter defense was terrible down the stretch. Love you guys. Keep up the great work. We appreciate your donation. I can't argue with that. He's spot on.
Spot on. There was you were better with Colby Jones and Keon Ellis in the backcourt, but you give up the offense. You're going to have Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox on the court at that point in the game. Good job by you, Andrew.
You made a great point, Ryan. You made it spot on about these games with the Lakers is kind of like a fork in the road. You know what this reminds me of? Even though it was much later in the season, a year ago, the 2 home games against Dallas in March, where the Kings were trying to solidify a top 6 spot, and they lost both games. And they ended up all the way down in the play-in and lost. I know there's a lot of games left, and there are a lot of battles ahead. But if you should lose both these games to the Lakers, and I don't think they will, by the way, you then are putting yourself, I think, in a gigantic hole to climb out of in the West. I think you are spot on. So I'm going to ask you the question now before we even get to Thursday. Would you take a split right now against the Lakers?
Yes, I absolutely would, because of how this team's playing on its home floor and for the fact that I do think the Lakers are going to come back. You see it coming already a little bit.
Yeah.
LeBron had to take a couple games off. Can AD stay healthy? I would take the split based on the sample size we've seen. How about yourself?
Yes, and Reeves is back.
Yeah.
He's been very good for them. I would, yes, absolutely. Right
You gotta-
now, yes, I would.
You got to think they're going to have a little fire in their belly because they should have won that game in LA if not for coaching the
Yeah.
first time around.
Yeah, agreed. Yep.
We will see.
I love the way the Kings match up with the Lakers, even though they
Yeah.
lost that game.
With you.
I just think I think the Kings are too fast for them. You know,
And
the way they play.
And now you insert Malik Monk into the starting lineup, which
Exactly.
isn't just having him there. You've changed the offense. The Kings are doing so much more pick and roll. Domas is a scorer rather than a distributor. Changes the formula against LA.
All right, we invite your phone calls right here on If You Don't Like That.
Baki, all the way from Serbia.
Hello, Baki.
What's up, guys?
How are you?
Rough. I'm not gonna make myself sleep right now. No way. After this, no way. I'm so down because this one was ours. I mean, Ryno, you said you're gonna take the split, but I don't know if we are in position anymore to take any split games like this with Lakers. I mean, 1-1. You're gonna stay.
Yeah, if you split, you lose the tiebreaker. In all
Yes,
likelihood,
of course, you're gonna lose everything. I mean, from now on, I mean, it's very shame you had the championship team contender very confused in fourth quarter. You'll never gonna see. I watch all the games from Denver and a lot of teams, and you'll never gonna see Denver Nuggets playing defense like this, playing zone 2-3, switching to zone 3-2. Okay, so they're so confused, and we got that advantage very well. And the point of this game is Ryno made it on the beginning. It's only that and only that. Great looks all the way and missing everything. I mean, great game by all the players from the Kings, by all the players. Great shots, great shot making positions, but doesn't fall. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I mean, everybody played great game, and tactically it was a great one, really great one. Really shame that Sabonis had the pure great game, matching Jokic as never before, as nobody else in the league. And I mean, Jokic did his job, but he was nowhere on the court. Okay, Murray take his shots on the end, which is very unbelievable, but that's Murray.
if you really want to break it down, the Kings lost this game in the first quarter, and I know they came back, and I know they took the lead. But you're at home in a big game, and you got outscored by 20 in the first quarter.
I agree.
Can't do that.
I agree.
Can't do it.
And I think we got to, and Grant, you're so right by saying that, because Jay talked about the mismatch and Jay Crowder. The Kings were a step slow coming
Yes.
out of the gates.
Yes,
they were just not at their full speed, Baki.
Yep.
You know, the Kings don't play well with rest. They play better
don't.
without this, you know.
Great.
And here we got another break in the schedule where you go day off tomorrow, day off Wednesday. And it's just I wonder why that is with this team. It's like they don't have any rhythm.
If you take those things, you have playing short without Keegan, without Herder, and playing down by 23. And after all that, you go up by 7 2 times. and missing all those shots. I mean, this game could easily be done by 20 for the Kings. I'm gonna watch the game again, and I'm gonna take notes. So trust me, if only half of those shots went in, that would be easy win. Ryno, if you agree.
You know what, Baki? It's the little things. I thought Andrew, and by the way, thank you very much, Andrew, for the second super chat.
Thank
Hope
you,
have
Andrew.
a good rest of the
And
night.
we
and
appreciate the compliments. Thank you.
absolutely, and looking forward to hopefully a win and a call from you next game.
I would like to ask you if you have you ever seen maybe this season or last two seasons, have you ever watched any of those games that we miss so many open shots?
Oh yeah, think about how many open shots the Kings missed at the start of last season.
Yeah, but in one game,
Yeah, Baki, we've seen some pretty low 3-point percentages.
yeah,
this
low
season in
percentages,
one-
yes, but that open shots, I mean, guys from 2 or 3, I mean, I don't know, 10 feet from the players, and you're missing crucial shots. Fox missed crazy shots, crazy.
You know, Grant, you can probably speak to this better. This game was so physical. How much, when you're down the stretch and you're probably not expecting the whistle, but you're expecting contact, how much does that affect the shot making, Napes?
I think it affects it. Absolutely. I think
Yeah,
you
it
make a good
affects it a
point.
lot.
I
Me
do
too.
think it affects it. You look at Sabonis played 41 minutes tonight. Fox played 39 minutes, and these were hard minutes, right? This was a
Yes.
game that this wasn't like a casual. This was like, okay, let's go. Those are a lot of minutes for those guys. I mean, and you look at, for instance, Denver. Aaron Gordon played 31. Michael Porter Jr. played 31. Jokic played 38. Russell Westbrook 35, and Murray played 38.
But they were without Brown. That's one good player.
Yep.
for
Well,
them.
the Kings were without 2 key players, so it is what it is. Baki, we're going to roll on. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Have a good day over there in Belgrade, my friend. Have a good day, all right?
See you
And don't
guys.
forget about New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. They're available around the clock 24/7 for your plumbing needs and repairs. SackServicePlumbing.com or call the number on your screen. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. They are awesome. Keep them in mind if you need plumbing repairs, if issues, SackServicePlumbing.com. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. Don't forget, what a great place for a gathering this holiday season at the happy hour. 2 to 6, sips and taste every day. Great share plates available for you at tremendous prices, and really good prices on their wines during their happy hours. They're 2 to 6 every day, sips and taste. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Check out their menu and more. Prime seafood and steak at Bennett's. That's Bennett'sRestaurants.com. And don't forget, a rant with Grant coming up in a couple of moments. Give me some rant ideas, and we'll get that in before we say goodnight.
I love all the feedback we're getting about Bennett's
I love it.
from
Love it.
viewers and friends of
Love
the channel that are going in. They're also finding the hidden diamonds on the menu too. The
I love it.
meatloaf's been showing up in the chat. So good job, y'all. We
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
We do appreciate it. And I know Brian Bennett and his staff, they appreciate it as well.
No doubt. G Money,
Salute.
welcome in tonight.
What's going on? What's shaking and baking, everyone? What's going on? How you doing? How you doing? It's nice to meet you, Grant.
I'm doing
Nice to
good,
meet you,
man.
Ryan.
What's shaking and baking with you, man?
Great. Well, this game was just an absolute movie. First quarter, Denver came out higher than a sauna in the first quarter. Then Sacramento started to get themselves back in the game a little bit. When we're up by 10, I felt the Kings should just kept going to the basket. And also,
Agreed.
Jamal Murray, man, the mile-high Murray murderer was on the loose in that fourth quarter. His jumper was wet. And I thought the Kings did a solid job on Joker for most of the game until like late when he started to get going. And that last play, when you watch DeRozan, one, he could have taken a mid-range shot earlier, or he could have threw that down. Or if you watch that play, Dougie was open at the corner. You could have kicked it out to Dougie, and who was
Great point.
boiling hot from 3, though. And that right there. And man, this Denver Nuggets team is tall. Michael Porter,
Yeah.
6'10", Joker's tall. Murray. To me, the Kings did blow the game at the end. So yeah.
All right. So we got a question here. G Money, what is with the light changing all the colors? What kind of light you got there, buddy?
Whoopsie, because I'm in I'm in a
It
friend's
goes
house.
red, it goes blue, it goes white. We're
Yeah,
just wondering what kind of light that is.
It's like I'm in a friend's house. That's why I have a little.
Oh, okay.
I'm in
Cool,
a friend's
man.
house and I'm-
It's all good. We just
Love
had a
it.
couple of people ask.
Right.
First of all, you make some really good points, and I'll tell you the point that I agree with you. Up 10, it would have been nice to get some free throws during that stretch and get to the basket.
Agreed.
I agree with you.
Agreed. And also another thing too, though, if I were the Kings, I would have double teamed Murray because Murray's not great passing out of double teams. I would have double teamed Murray and dare Michael Porter to beat you. You know.
Well, he can, but I understand your point.
Yeah.
You know, I'm taking a picture for Brian here on this Bennett's again.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not a good free throw shooter. He shoots the 3 ball well, like Grant said. You know, the Kings, G Money, the problem is when the Kings double, it almost never turns out well.
True.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call the show tonight, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Call again, all right?
Good
You're
stuff.
welcome. Thank you. Please smash and crush your likes for Grant and Ryan, please. Everyone in the chat.
Thank you, buddy.
Appreciate
We
that, brother.
appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate it. Good
Love
call.
when we get new first-time callers. He
Yeah,
killed
I
it.
love it too.
You
Love
can
it.
do that too. Get on the phone lines, y'all. We'd love to
Yeah.
hear from you.
Yeah, that's good stuff. 130 to 129, though. Can I feel good after a loss, or is that not allowed?
Depends on, yeah, you can feel, look, there's nuance. Yes, Jay's right. You lose, you win, doesn't matter, but it's a long season. You got to build on things. When your bench is this thin and you see performances like that and guys growing, because Colby tonight, and I'll just give you mine, for instance. Colby has been playing his way through spots and playing well. Mike's putting more trust in him. And tonight he put the ultimate trust in him and he showed out. So I feel good about that. But can you feel good?
Not with the way the West is right now, and you're up 10 with 3:55 left. No, I can't.
Okay.
And you're on your home court, and you work so hard to get back to 500. No, I can't.
Okay. Even if I drag it out a little bit further and I say, since Monk has started, the Kings have scored 127, 120, 110, 140, 141, 109, and 129.
And what's their record during those games? Do you know?
They are 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, 4 and 3. 4 and 3.
All right, so they're 4 and 3. So if they win 4 out of every 7 games the rest of the year, what does that do for them?
Probably put you in the play-in at best.
Play-in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why these 2 games, we go back to it. Where does the split? Where do you think a split puts you? Just kind of keeps you where you are.
Treading water.
Okay, I'm kind of with you there.
The Lakers are leaving town ahead of you, and you're still, in all likelihood, 12th in the West.
Well, and that's why after those 2 games, you've got Indiana and Detroit still on your home court. And
Indiana is not an easy matchup for Sacramento, and we saw Detroit beat the Kings last year, but I don't think that will happen this year. But here's the deal. I don't have any confidence at all with the Kings winning games at home.
It's unreal. Home used to be an advantage, not the Golden One Center. You and Jerry have said it. Arco Arena, different than the Golden One for whatever reason.
I don't understand it either. I mean, I really don't. It's very puzzling to me. I understand that if you have a bad team, I get that, but even when the Kings won 48 games 2 years ago, their home record was blasé. Last year, not good. This year, terrible.
Yeah, well, and maybe we look at it a different way. Sure, there's always something more the Kings can do, but there is a narrative around the league about coming in and not letting them light the beam. Other teams kind of get up to play here, even if the Kings are the underdogs. So how much does that play into it? I don't know. But the bottom line is, I would say we've seen the Kings beat the Kings more at home than we've seen other teams beat the Kings at home.
Yeah, that's true. Here's the other part I look at in the West. All right, let's just, for Oklahoma City and Memphis, clearly are not going anywhere, correct?
Correct.
All right. Houston looks like that they're solid, and maybe they're not a top 4, but they look top 6.
Top 6.
Dallas is solid. They've now
Yeah.
won 8 of 10. Denver's Denver, and here's the deal with Phoenix. As long as Kevin Durant's on the floor, they're good. They've won both games since he's come back. They're 14-11. Minnesota's starting to play better. They're now 14-11. The Warriors, think about this. The Warriors have lost 8 of 10, and they're
Yeah.
still 14-11.
Yeah. They got off to a great start, right? They capitalized on the beginning part of that schedule. And they've already acquired Schroeder. They're not being quiet about it. They're looking to grab somebody. The question becomes, do any of these other teams possibly improve? Because there's a decent market out there right now.
Yep. So, again, you made a good point earlier. The teams that are ahead of Sacramento into the top 6, which get into the tournament, they have 14 wins. The Kings have 13. They're only 1 win back,
Right.
but it's the loss column. This is significant. They have 4 more losses than Denver. That's significant. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's not just like a little. That's a lot.
Spot on. Very, very good point. I think the bottom line is they've got to get it together, and you guys have been screaming this from the rooftops at home to have any chance in this season.
That's correct. Jerry talks about that
Yeah.
all the time, for year after year after year. And you know what? He's 100% spot on. How
Yep.
can you argue with that?
Yep.
Right?
And what more can the crowd do? Cowbell night.
It's not the crowd's fault. I can
know
tell you
it's
that.
not. Yep.
Yep.
They appreciate the hustle. That crowd
Yep.
was rocking tonight.
All right. Don't forget a rant with Grant, brought to you by EDH Motors, Automotive Reimagined. Very easy to get all the information at edhmotors.com. Let me tell you a little bit more about this. So if you're looking for a vehicle this Christmas, this holiday season, go see EDH Motors. We're talking Mercedes, Land Rover, Toyota, whatever brand you're looking for, EDH Motors can get it for you, and you never have to step foot into a typical franchise dealership. It's going to save you money. It's going to save you time. And you know what? You might even have a little fun. Go to edhmotors.com. You can check out their inventory. This is real key here. They've got a little bit of everything: exotics, highline, classics, economy. But if they don't have what you're looking for, they'll go get it for you. Just see their beautiful auto lounge located in the El Dorado Hills Town Center, and reimagine how you purchase your next vehicle with EDH Motors Automotive Reimagined. And it's a great new concept. I think you'll really find it awesome. What's not awesome is the fact that Sacramento is so bad on their home floor. I read the numbers earlier. Look at all the teams. Look at the 11 teams ahead of Sacramento, and only look at their home record. That's it. Just look at their home record. And you want to know why the Kings are 12th in the West? They're 12th in the West because they're not good at home. They're 6-8 at home. Bad teams in the league are 6-8 at home most of the time. Bad teams. The Kings aren't a bad team, but their home record suggests that they're a bad team. What the heck is going on at Golden One Center year after year after year? As Ryan just said, it's not the fans. Fans are showing up. Fans are making noise. It's a beautiful arena. They got all the amenities. They got their practice court. They got 2 full locker rooms. They've got 55,000, massage therapists and trainers and this and that. They got all the bells and whistles. What's the deal? Why are the Kings inferior at home? I don't get it. It's bad. There's no way the Kings are going to be in the playoffs with a losing record at home. And as Ryno said, and spot on a while ago, these next 2 games are kind of like a fork in the road against the Lakers. And if you lose both these games, you might be able to stick a fork in Sacramento. Because in the West, you're not climbing out of that hole with a bad home court record. And the games that the Kings have coming up after the new year, you're going to get smoked. You're going to be out of it. And then what happens if we're talking about a Sacramento Kings team that's a non-playoff team for 2 years in a row? How's that going to go over with Vivek Ranadive? I know how it's going to go over. Not very well. These 2 games coming up, I know it's December. I know there are a lot of games left. Critical with a capital C. Critical. Can't be blowing 10-point leads with 3:55 left on your home floor like the Kings did tonight. I know Denver is a good team. give them credit. But you're up 10 with 3:55 left. Find a way to win the damn game. And that's my rant for tonight.
Good job by that. Good job. Mike, thank you for the super chat. Trust Monty. So, Grant, hold that thought. I want to bring a screen up for us really quick. Let me get Mike down. Oops, I can't get Mike down until I do this. Let's look at it. What is it about the Kings at home? We've got it right here. Here's the stats. As we bring them up, there are the home stats for you versus the road. Net rating is 4.5 at home. Now, granted, some of that has to do with the bigger blowouts, probably the Utah game. Pace is a little bit lower at home. So what's the variable? It's got to be the defensive end because nothing's popping up on the offensive end, Napes.
Yep. Yeah. I'll tell you, Ryno, it's frustrating. That's all I know.
Yep.
It's frustrating.
With
you know, it's frustrating because you're sitting here with a team that was hoping to go over 500 tonight and get to 500 at home, and now you're under 500 in both those categories.
Yeah. Yep. It's got to turn around. Look, you got to look at that defensive end. I think we go back to this, Grant.
Yeah.
It's the amount of threes that this team gives up.
Yep. Yep.
If you want to be second worst in the NBA at giving up 3-point percentage, so be it. But the quantity kills them. Being second.
Absolutely. 100% correct. Spot on.
You can't do it. So,
all right. What you can do is check out Sunrise Landing in Calusa, and you get all the information at calusasunrise.com. This is a project from Blazona Development, and you have beautiful, beautiful models to choose from. Remember, no Mellorews, no homeowners at calusasunrise.com. You'll find all the information at Sunrise Landing, adjacent to the Calusa Golf and Country Club. Good access to the major roads, I-5, Highway 45, Highway 20. Again, go to calusasunrise.com and get all the information you need on Sunrise Landing. Kings lose tonight 130 to 129 after being up 10 with 3:55 left.
Check out this stat from Tim. Tim, I'm guessing your qualifying close games is ones that qualify for clutch time. 3-9 this season.
Well,
close games.
That's not going to get you into the playoffs.
You know who had that problem last year? Golden State.
Golden State. Yes, that's correct. Yep. You're right. You made such a good point earlier. I think this is a fork in the road coming up. These next two games.
Yep. Hey, you got to get healthy. You better hope Domas wakes up feeling okay from that fall. Got to see if Keegan's ankle is right. Trey Lyles, he's getting closer, Mike Brown said, but not ready to play next game.
Well, we'll be with you. We got a lot of programming coming up between now and then. You got the King's Court with Ryno tomorrow at 2. I'm going to do a show tomorrow at 8 o'clock Pacific. All right. So 8 o'clock Pacific. Then Wednesday, Sean Salisbury at 3 p.m. Then Ryno and Jerry with the Kings Roundtable at 4 p.m. Then Thursday, after Ryan's show, all right, we will have all the coverage of the Kings and the Lakers. Ryno with the pregame, halftime, postgame. So we got a lot of stuff coming up. Make sure if you have not already done so, subscribe to the channel. There you have it. You'll always know when we're going to be on. And please give us a thumbs up. We'd greatly appreciate it. Well, thank you, everyone. We wish we had better news, but wow. 130 to 129. Final thoughts, Ryno?
Get ready for Thursday. Bring it.
Yep.
Don't be down, Kings fans. Bring it Thursday. It's huge.
But you know the place is going to be juiced, and there's going to be a lot of Laker fans. And the Laker fans are the most obnoxious fans anywhere in the league. And there's nothing better than shutting them up after a win on your home floor because they are obnoxious.
Yeah, and after you shut them up, pull the tag off their jersey so they can't return it.
Everyone, take care. Thank you. On that note, we will say good night. And The sun will rise tomorrow. Don't
Yes,
worry.
indeed.
Take care, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.